heck just happened? Where am I? Why am I wearing a suit?
Oh, good. You're awake.
Good. Do I know you?
You do if you know a Cassius, as I believe you do.
Cassius. Didn't you hire me to be your teaching assistant?
Yes, I did. And you start right now.
Meaning?
You are currently in Elsinore, more specifically, Kronborg Castle. To your right, Bernardo, Marcellus, and Horatio are being scared out of their wits by what appears to be the Canterville ghost.
Look what it comes again! In the same figure like the king that's dead! Stay and speak!
Well, that's something you don't see every day.
We're just getting started. The bird of dawning singeth all night long. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Royal Shakespeare Company's Hamlet. Our story begins with King Claudius bringing us up to speed with our story's setting. Since the death of his brother, the former King Hamlet, he has not only taken over the throne, but also married his former sister-in-law, Gertrude the Queen. Her son Hamlet is not too happy about this.
For those unfamiliar, King Claudius is played by Patrick Stewart, best known for his roles as Captain Jean-Luc Picard in Star Trek The Next Generation, and Professor Charles Xavier in X-Men. Hamlet is played by David Tennant, who played Barty Crouch Jr. in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, and the 10th Doctor in Doctor Who.
Claudius notices that Hamlet is moping and asks him what the problem is.
How is it that the clouds still hang on you?
Not so, my lord. I am too much i' the sun.
If it be, why seems it so particular with thee?
Seems, madam, nay, it is. I know not seems. 'Tis not alone my inky cloak, good mother, nor customary suits of solemn black, together with all forms, moods, shapes of grief that can denote me truly. These indeed seem, for they are actions that a man might play, but I have that within which passeth show. These but the trappings and the suits of woe.
He's a little on the emo side, isn't he?
Oh, give him a minute.
And that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter, oh God. How weary, stale, flat and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. Fine.
Holy crap, this guy's a walking dashboard confessional album.
Indeed, Hamlet is one of the first known examples of the emo kid archetype. Not only that, he is a well-done emo kid archetype and rarely or never becomes annoying, unlike some of the more modern examples. However, his angsting is cut short by the arrival of Horatio.
Hail to your lordship. I'm glad to see thee well. Horatio! Oh, I forget myself.
The same, my lord, and your poor servant ever.
Oh, my good friend, I'll change that name with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you literature's most epic bromance. It's like Kirk and Spock, only they're both Danish. Possibly both Danish. No one really knows where Horatio's from. I think Shakespeare might have forgotten in the continuity there. Sometimes he is, sometimes he isn't. Not the point. They're in Denmark.
Horatio then tells Hamlet about seeing the old king's ghost.
What looked he, frowningly?
A countenance more in sorrow than in anger.
Pale or red?
Nay, very pale.
And fixed his eyes upon you?
Most constantly.
I would I had been there.
It would have much amazed you.
Later that night, Hamlet comes face to face with the ghost of his father, also portrayed by Patrick Stewart. Amazingly enough, they do have a conversation and the circumstances surrounding his death are revealed.
It is given out that sleeping in my orchard, a serpent stung me. But know, thou noble youth, the serpent that did sting thy father's life now wears his crown.
Oh,
My prophetic soul, my uncle!
We also learned that death seems to make people bipolar. I mean, one second he's...
Shall bear it not! Let not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest!
And the next he's all...
Howsoever thou pursuest this act, taint not thy mind.
But at least they leave each other in calm, peaceful terms.
Adieu. Adieu, Hamlet.
Well, isn't that nice?
Well, relatively peaceful terms.
The time is out of joint. Oh, cursed spite. That ever I was born to set it right.
So, do we move on to Hamlet planning his revenge?
Not so fast. It's now time to give you a proper introduction to Lord Polonius, King Claudius's chief advisor, played by Oliver Ford Davies, who played Governor Sio Bibble in the Star Wars prequels. You see, he recently just sent his son Laertes off to France, while his daughter Ophelia remains in Denmark. However, despite giving him his blessing, Polonius decided to send someone over to France to check up on him. In this scene, Polonius gives this servant, Rinaldo, instructions on how to hide the fact that he is more or less spying on Laertes. And, by the way, you are playing Rinaldo in this scene.
Alrighty then, so just listen to his instructions and then leave. Shouldn't be a problem.
Have fun.
You should do marvelous wisely, good Rinaldo, before you visit him, to make inquire of his behavior.
Got it.
Inquire me first what danskers are in Paris, and how and who, what means and where they keep, what company and what expense. Take you as 'twere some distant knowledge of him. Drinking, fencing, swearing, quarrel.
Dear freaking Odin, you're still talking.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is Polonius' defining character trait. He talks. A lot. Much like most of the characters in Richard II, Polonius pays an almost obsessive attention to ceremony and protocol, which in this play makes him seem more than a little senile. Ophelia then walks in and tells her father that Hamlet spewed a steaming pile of crazy all over her while attempting to put the moves on, but she had turned him down like he instructed her to. Polonius, psychology expert that he is, concludes that this fact alone, jilted love, is what's driving Hamlet emo and crazy, and decides to talk about this with the king.
Meanwhile, thousands of inches away...
Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Moreover, that we much did long to see you, the need we have to use you did provoke our hasty sending.
As you just heard, these two are Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Once childhood friends of Hamlet, they are now spies under King Claudius, instructed to gain his confidence and shadow his every move, which they agree to do. Also, they're involved in a running gag where people keep mistaking them for each other.
Thanks, Rosencrantz and gentle Guildenstern.
Thanks, Guildenstern. And gentle Rosencrantz.
Ah, so they're the Zack and Cody of this play.
More or less.
And here comes Polonius. No doubt here to tell Claudius that Ophelia's hotness is literally driving Hamlet insane.
My liege and madam, 2 expostulate what majesty should be, what duty is. Why, day is day, night, night, and time is time. We're nothing but to waste night, day, and time. As I will be brief, your noble son is mad.
Of all the possible times you decide to forego formalities, it's this one. Polonius then hatches a plan to more or less pimp out his daughter to Hamlet while he and Claudius watch. Because that's not creepy.
Elsewhere in the castle, Hamlet performs the most emo soliloquy in existence.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Well, it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them.
Ophelia then tries to get some sort of lover's reaction from Hamlet, but unfortunately, he's still fairly emo coming from that soliloquy.
Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent, honest, and yet I could accuse me of such things. It were better my mother had not borne me. What should such fellows as I do? Crawling between earth and heaven, we are arrant knaves, all. Believe none of us. Go thy way to a nunnery.
Compound that with the fact that Hamlet senses that he's being watched, and you have a full-on angst-splosion.
You cheek! You humble and you list! And make them God's creatures! Make your wantonness your ignorance go to! Oh, the morons! It hath made me mad! To another go!
I thought that went well.
Hamlet then gets the news that some of the best actors in the world are on the way to perform some drama in the castle. Hamlet then talks to the lead actor about performing a specific play.
Dost thou hear me, old friend? Can you play The Murder of Gonzago?
Aye, my lord.
Well, here, tomorrow night, you could, for a need, study a speech of some 12 or 16 lines, which I would set down and insert into, could you not?
The Murder of Gonzago officially begins.
Thou mixture rank of midnight weeds collected, with Hecate's bane, thrice blasted, thrice infected, thy natural magic and dire property, unwholesome life, usurp immediately.
He poisons him in the garden for his estate.
Dude, I'm pretty sure the audience can see what's going on. You don't have to tell them every laugh.
His name's Gonzago, the player's extant and written choice Italian.
Oh, come on!
You shall see anon how the murderer gets the love of Gonzago's wife.
The king rises.
What? Frighted with false fire?
And with that, the king's guilt is finally exposed.
Meanwhile, in Gertrude's bedroom, Polonius enacts his patented hide behind something as someone talks to a woman strategy by concealing himself within the confines of the biggest piece of furniture in the room. Hamlet finally shows up and acts rather violently. This worries Gertrude enough to call for help.
Help! 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 Oh, now a rat dead or a ducat dead!
Now those were just terrible last words.
Claudius then visits Gertrude, who tells him that he has confirmed that Hamlet is insane, and attempts to cover for his killing of Polonius.
In his lawless fit, behind the mirror hearing something stir, whips out his weapon, cries, a rat, and in this brainless apprehension kills the unseen good old man.
Yeah, because you know, whenever I see a rat, my first reaction is always, hey dude, can I buy your 357 Magnum?
Oh, heavy deed. It had been so with us had we been there. His liberty is full of threats to all. To you yourself, to us, to everyone.
Claudius then sends Rosencrantz and Guildenstern to go after Hamlet and Polonius's body. They manage to subdue Hamlet, but he refuses to give them the location of the body, so they take him to Claudius, who manages to get the information from him. He then tells Hamlet that he's to be sent off to England for everyone's safety.
Come for England!
Sure, Claudius. Send the crazy Prince of Denmark overseas so he can cause an international incident.
Horatio tries to convince Gertrude to speak with Ophelia. Yes, they switched Act 4, Scene 4 with Act 4, Scene 5. Also, the random gentleman's lines were given to Horatio, as is pretty much always done. Gertrude finally relents and lets Ophelia in to speak with her. However, it seems Horatio wasn't kidding when he said that Ophelia was a tad off her rocker.
They say the owl was a baker's daughter.
After taking off all but her undergarments in what may be considered fan service, Ophelia runs off and Claudius sends Horatio after her. Soon after, Polonius' son Laertes returns from France and has apparently managed to gather an entire rebel army. And from the looks of it, managed to walk past the guards without much effort. Man, Elsinore's security sucks!
Laertes tries to find out who killed his father, but is interrupted by the insane Ophelia.
Do you see this? Oh, God.
Ophelia then leaves the scene, which makes Laertes remember that he was supposed to be pointing a gun at people. Claudius offers to help Laertes get his revenge on his father's murder, and he accepts.
How now, sweet queen?
One woe does tread upon another's heel. So fast they follow. Your sister's drowned, Laertes.
Drowned?
A little while later, Hamlet returns and just happens to be hanging out at the graveyard with Horatio when they come across a burial ceremony, which happens to be Ophelia's. Before Hamlet can fully react, Laertes proves that he can explode with the best of them.
Still of this flat, a mountain you have made, to our top old Pelion, or the skyish head
Good is
of
he, whose grief bears such an emphasis.
thy soul!
After an altercation that makes playground fights look like Jet Li movies by comparison, Hamlet gets in a pissing contest with Laertes to decide who loved Ophelia more.
Swoot, show me what thou do. Would weep, would fight, would fast, would tear thyself.
Nobody out-emos Hamlet.
Let Hercules himself do what he may. The cat will mew, and dog will have his day.
And now, we finally get the scene with Osric, one of my favorite scenes in the entire play, where Hamlet viciously eviscerates this court toady whose smile really makes me die a little bit inside every time, but it's delightful.
Most delicate carriages and of a very liberal conceit.
What call you the carriages?
Carriages, sir, are the hangers.
Hamlet then gets ready to have a fencing fight with Laertes, but not before apologizing for his behavior. It's about time.
Give me your pardon, sir. I've done you wrong. But pardon it, as you were a gentleman. This presence knows, and you must needs have heard, how I am punished with sore distraction. What I have done that might your nature, honour, and exception roughly awake, I here proclaim was madness.
I do receive your offered love, like love, and will not wrong it.
I do embrace it freely. And will this brother's wager frankly play? Give us the foils, come on!
Come, one for me!
Laertes, failing miserably to land a touch as she decided to attack with the fencing equivalent of a haymaker, cuts Hamlet with a poisoned sword while he's distracted.
Nay, come again!
They bleed on both sides. Howest, my lord?
With the bout more or less over, Hamlet notices that Gertrude has fallen to the ground.
How does the queen?
She swoons to see them bleed.
No! No, the drink! The drink! Oh, my dear Hamlet. The drink. The drink. I am poisoned.
Claudius tries to feign innocence, but Laertes intervenes.
The king! The king's to blame!
Hamlet then forces Claudius to drink from the cup that killed Gertrude.
Follow my mother!
He is justly served.
The poison then drops Hamlet to the floor. Knowing that his friend is sure to die within minutes, Horatio attempts to take this bromance to the afterlife.
No more an antique Roman than a Dane. Is yet some liquor left?
Start the man, give me the cup! Let go! By heaven, I'll have it! Good Horatio.
What a wounded name. Things standing thus unknown shall live behind me. The rest is silence.
So there you have it, the Royal Shakespeare Company's Hamlet with grade A performances from David Tennant and Patrick Stewart, a fun, modern aesthetic that doesn't do anything too crazy, but for anyone who thinks that Shakespeare's all about doublet and hose, it'll certainly give them a new way to look at things. All in all, super fun. David Tennant is so much fun to watch, which is kind of important for a role where you have to watch him forever. And all in all, kind of nice for a production that was originally on the stage and then had to be moved to the screen. That's something that's always a little bit difficult. So I have to say, it's a really good Hamlet, very, very manic on the part of the main character, which I think is something that characterizes the entire play, the entire production. So it's a lot of fun, and definitely recommend from me. So this has been Cassius.
And this has been Sharky.
Be free and fare thee well.